Evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town Board meeting for May 8th, 2018. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So,
Councilwoman Shaw.
oh, sorry.
Councilwoman Dottori.
Present.
Councilman Wiltshire.
Present.
Councilwoman Feldman. Present. And Supervisor Levenberg.
Here I am. Okay, as I was saying, so before we get into the formal portion of tonight's meeting, I want to welcome a very special group of folks to join us up front. Team Galata's Fight Cancer has been working diligently to raise money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society over the past few months. They have raised over $30,000 to date. I'm guessing we're going to get an update when they come up. And we wanted to thank them for their efforts and say, keep up the great work. I believe you have a goal of $50,000. Is that correct? Yes? Okay, I'm getting the head shake. So we hope you will continue to be successful to reach that goal. The dream team is comprised of Captains Amelia and Matthew Galata Jr., Daniel Perez, Jennifer Ortiz, Jesus Gillen, Nathina Murray, Pedro Montes de Oca, Stephen Chambers, and Peter Tarracone. And I think there's a couple of other members, but I believe that's who we have here tonight. I would also like to welcome Michelle Lippin from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, who would like to join the town board in congratulating and thanking the selfless group of students for making a real difference in the lives of their friends and neighbors. So if this group could come up, we have, and I don't, if Ford, if you want to come over here in front, and we can give out some of these certificates to these wonderful students. And I will also give them an opportunity to say a few words if they would like to. So, I'm going to welcome you. Come on over here. We're going to grab this here microphone from Mr. Campanella. Thank you, Tom. Okay. And we are so proud of you for all that you have achieved to date. And we know you're going to achieve even more. And we anticipate you're certainly going to be able to achieve your goals. I also want to say that I think the town had a little part in helping out because the polar plunge in Ossining was part of this effort. And we know that you were there in your bathing suit glory. Many of you, I don't know if all of you were there. Were all of you there? Yeah, you were all there, as was I. And that was a lot of fun. We had a good time. It was cold, but, you know, just like the children and others who have this horrible disease have to battle, we also had to battle the elements a little bit, and that was just a drop in the bucket compared to what some people with this disease have to battle. So again, we thank you for your efforts and congratulate you, and we have special certificates, and I'm going to give the ones to Matthew Galata in recognition of your hard work fundraising for leukemia and lymphoma, bringing us a step closer to beating cancer, and for being recognized with the 2018 Student of the Year Award for Mission Integration from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So congratulations. Come on up. And let's do Amelia next. And Amelia Galata in recognition of the same as your brother. Come on, wait, Matthew, Amelia, come on up. Okay, now turn around, stand this way after you've received your certificate. Congratulations. Here, why don't you guys come right over here? Yep. And face the audience. Okay, and then we'll get everybody. Okay, we have Peter Tarracone. Yes? No? Not here? Okay, not here. And let's see. We have Stephen Chambers. No? Also not here? Or somebody receiving it on his behalf? No? Pedro? Yes, no, maybe? No Pedro? Okay, Pedro Montes. I hope I have everybody's name. Nathina? Okay.
She's not here.
She's not here. Okay, Nathina, congratulations. We're very proud of you. Congratulations to you. Jesus? Yes? Okay, Jesus Gillen, congratulations. And you are not Jennifer. I'm pretty sure. Daniel Perez, congratulations. All right. So thank you from the entire town board. And town board, do you want to help stand here? Come stand over here and we can spread out. Stay, you're good. Stay here. Stay here. Okay, I know. Okay, and if you look a little to the side so we can pose for this camera, the video camera. Okay, great. And then we will pose for all the other cameras over in this direction. And Michelle, did you want to come up? And Mr. Galata, and Mrs. Galata, do you want to come up also and join us, or you just want the kids to be up? Okay, we're just going to keep the kids for now. Wait, let me do one more to the microphone. Sorry. Okay, and Michelle, did you want to say a few words while we're all here?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to say a few words. I have a few things to say, but I'd also like to thank you very much, Dana, because I made a tremendous part. I know you're a tremendous part of helping this team to raise, now it is at $33,700.
Wow, all right,
So,
fantastic.
yes. And I have bracelets for everybody in the board as well. I'll give them out afterwards.
Okay.
Because I do have something to give you a recognition
Oh, wow, thank you.
for being on their team and helping them out. So you're welcome.
much.
You're welcome. So I need my glasses.
Okay.
So, good evening, everybody. As you know, I'm Michelle Lippin. I'm the campaign manager of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Students of the Year program. And this year I had the distinct privilege of getting to know the Galata family and the Ossining community and experiencing their incredible philanthropic activities to support LLS. Today, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is proud and honored to recognize Amelia and Matthew Galata for their dedication and tireless efforts as Students of the Year with the 2018 Citizenship Award for Mission Integration, which they have received in the past, so I don't have it with me. And then as you did, I wanted to also recognize their awesome classmates and team members, Daniel Perez, Jennifer Ortiz, Jesus Gillian, Nathina Murray, Pedro Montes de Oca, Stephen Chambers, and Peter Terracone, for collectively putting in over 300 hours of community service and rally the Ossining community and beyond, actually, to help Galatas fight cancer, build awareness of LLS's mission to cure blood cancers and improve the lives of cancer patients. And as I mentioned, they raised over $33,700 to date. So
That's fantastic. Woohoo!
And for that, they each were presented with a $500, this is Amelia and Matthew, with a $500 educational scholarship to be used towards colleges of their choices. And then, in addition, we presented their team members, as you did, with special certificates of appreciation for their tireless efforts. So we're glad that
Big wall space.
they have wall space for all these certificates, that's right. And in addition to thanking you, Dana, we'd also like to thank, and they're not here tonight, but we want to give a shout out to Stephen Hancock, Lee Katz, and Rocco Passante for their outstanding support also for Galatas Fight Cancer throughout the campaign and to LLS over the past several years. And there's one other special person that I can't leave out, and it's a special thank you to Mr. Matthew Galata Sr., because without him, he is the wind beneath their wings. He's an awesome team captain, and as a parent, he made sure to fulfill his role to ensure the team stayed on steady course to achieve their goals, and as you know, he hasn't stopped. So we're
Turn the camera around, Mr. Galata.
So we're grateful to the entire Ossining community for your continued support. And before we complete the presentation, I have one more piece of information to share, and I think you shared it already, but I'll say it again, that Amelia and Matthew took on this challenge in memory of their great-grandfather, John Galata, who passed away from leukemia, and in honor of their cousin, John Malika, who is currently battling leukemia. And from your own Ossining community, our honored hero, Gio Toribio, who battled lymphoma at age 4 and now at 6 years old is cancer-free. So while the competition completed on March 8th, Amelia and Matthew, along with their team, have chosen to continue their fundraising efforts to reach $50,000 for an LLS research grant to be named for Gio Toribio and his family. So they still need to raise another $16,300 by June 26th. And to make this happen, we hope we can count on you and your help and your support to make this a reality, and the town of Ossining and beyond. So reach out to your family, your friends, your network in other cities and other states to ask them to contribute as well.
And how do you do that, on Facebook?
Do it on Facebook. There's a link to their fundraising page as well, which can be sent out, and it'll be shared with you. There are letters here, and it could be shared with everybody. So Matt will send out some more links to that. Matt also wanted me to mention that there is a pig roast that's going to happen on June 6th, and that's going to also benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And this is going to be held at the Briarcliff Manor on Studio Hill, and that's going to be from 7 to 10. It's $80 per person, but it's going to be an amazing night because there's going to be music, raffle, silent auction, and plus cigars, right? And then on June 1st, there's going to be at the Elk Club a comedy night from 7 to 10 also, and we hope that you'll all join and support. So thank you, and thank you very much for allowing us to have this wonderful recognition here.
And thank you again, Michelle, for organizing it. We very much appreciate it, and appreciate all you do at LLS. And again, thank you to all the students for your time, especially my neighbors, who happen to be my neighbors, the Galatas, and all your hard work. So congratulations. Have a great night. Okay. I'll get those bracelets.
And I just wanted to say thank you very much to the town board.
Excuse me, could you please introduce yourself?
Matthew Galata, your neighbor. But I'm here specifically just right now just say thank you to the town board. The town board, with the events that we had, were very supportive. You all showed up and supported it and contributed. And I want to say thank you very much. It does take a village and a town, and we're making it happen for this young man, Gio. And it's looking forward. I'm looking forward, and the team is, and other businesses and people in the community, when another individual or family's in need, here's a great way. We already did it for Gio. Maybe we can do it again for another person. So again, my deepest sincerity to say thank you very much to the town board, who has always been very supportive. Thank you very much.
Have a great night, and thank you very much. All right. So next up, we are going to go into some announcements. I guess I will ask if any of my board colleagues have any, or do you want me to go first? You go first, or do you have first? Okay, I shall go. So first things first, the folks who bring you these meeting broadcasts every week, Mr. Campanella and family, are getting ready to enter the spotlight. Come tour Greater Ossening's new studio at the Joseph G. Caputo Center this Friday, May 11th, between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., and learn about what GoTV has been up to, and they have been up to a lot. Special thanks to former town supervisor, the Honorable Sue Donnelly, for her commitment to getting GoTV back up and running at full speed. It was a task that scared off many, but she persevered, and we are better for it. And we have had some wonderful programming, original programming by GoTV, and coverage of community events since Sue has taken the reins, and we are very, very appreciative. So 95 Broadway is where our community center is, and that's from 4 to 7 p.m. May 11th. Also this weekend, one of my personal favorite events of the year, T-Town's Plant Fest. Come on Saturday the 12th between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. for free, or pay $20 per person for first picks on Friday evening between 4 and 7 p.m. The early access not only gets you first crack at the plants and artisanal goods, but there will also be small plates, wine, and local craft beer. This is a great chance to pick up some special Mother's Day gifts for the women in your life. Also on Saturday the 12th, Bethany Arts Community will host the Bill T. Jones Arnie Zane Dance Company for 3 consecutive Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. This world-renowned dance company will be in residency at Bethany Arts Community and is looking for volunteers to participate in the company's latest work, The Deep Blue Sea. Participants will be asked to move, think, and create with the dance company. No formal dance experience is necessary, but participants should be 16 years or older, ideally with backgrounds in movement, such as martial arts, dance, gymnastics, sports, or gardening, just to name a few. I didn't know gardening was considered movement, but now we do know, and that's good news for all of you gardeners out there. These events will be outdoors, weather permitting, so plan accordingly. Learn more at bethanyarts.org. That very evening, Westchester Collaborative Theater will be hosting Spring Fling, their spring fundraiser. Spring Sing Fling Sing thing. I don't know, Stephen named it, so I had to throw that in. I can't remember what it's called. Spring Sing Fling. An evening of cabaret featuring Lynn Snyder and Sally Sherwood with Blake Rowe on keyboard. Visit wctheater.org to get your tickets. On Saturday, May 19th, the Ossining Historic Cemeteries Conservancy will be hosting their second gravestone cleaning of the season at Dale Cemetery. Show up at 9 a.m., ready to get a little messy, and never fear, the experts will show you what to do. No prior experience is necessary. You can also bring the students in your life along with you for some gratifying and interesting community service hours. You really do get to learn an awful lot about Ossining history if you attend. Email ohcc10562@gmail.com for more information. You could also bounce around town and check out Green Ossining's Repair Cafe at the Joseph G. Caputo Community Center. Between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., bring your gently used housewares to the Repair Cafe for a little TLC and get them back in working order. Don't replace, repair. Bring your clothing, ceramic items, bikes, electrical appliances, and even plants. And let the Green Ossining experts work their magic. And I did get a special update that there will also be a knife sharpener there. So please bring your dull blades so that you can work magic in the kitchen when you're done leaving there. That afternoon, join me at the 4th Annual Ossining Microfest, our annual event benefiting the Ossining Microfund. Bring the family for an afternoon of live music, food and drinks, and pool games, and bid on some of our fantastic silent auction items. This year, we will be at the home of Russell and Mary Secor at 320 Illington Road between 1 and 5 p.m. Email ossiningmicrofund@gmail.com for more info or to secure your spot by this Thursday, May 10th. Again, the event is on May 19th. That's Saturday. Adult tickets are $25 each, and children under 12 attend for free. On Sunday, May 20th, between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., the Ossining Boat and Canoe Club will host their annual commissioning day and veterans ceremony. Be sure to RSVP by May 11th, this Friday, by emailing secretary@obcc.org if you plan to attend. I plan to attend. Finally, be sure to mark your calendars for Sunday, June 3rd, when the Ossining Historic Cemeteries Conservancy will join us to officially dedicate the Dale Cemetery Heritage Trail at 1 p.m. The OHCC has been hard at work for almost a year to develop the signage for this trail through a grant from Senator David Carlucci, and we're incredibly fortunate to have this jewel of Ossining's history cared for and developed into a destination by the OHCC volunteers. This event is rain or shine. I want to end with a quick announcement regarding a project that we have been working on. Back in August of last year, the town submitted a grant application to the Department of State in which we proposed learning more about our shared services options. We have been offered a small amount of funding to get started, and our conversations with the Department of State have led us to believe that the way to start is by opening up the dialogue to the public and taking the temperature of our residents about some of our ideas. We are anticipating approving a contract to do just that at next week's meeting. But we wanted to share that we have asked the Village of Ossining if they wish to join us in this endeavor. Tomorrow evening, Councilwoman DeTore has graciously volunteered to appear before the village board to speak to them about what, if any, level of involvement they feel comfortable with at this time. Whether or not the village chooses to participate, rest assured that we will be soliciting feedback from all Ossining residents, including those who live in the village. So that's it for my announcements. And are there any add-ons from any of my colleagues?
I just wanted to mention and give out a reminder that the school budget vote is on Tuesday, May 15th from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and it's at OHS in the gym.
And there's also a school budget and Board of Education vote in Briarcliff, for the Briarcliff School District from the same time, and I believe that's also at their high school.
And the library?
In the library? Is that?
And the library.
And
And the library
and
budget.
oh, sorry, and library budget. I think just for Austin, I don't think Briarcliff has their library budget doesn't go up for a vote. So, and the library budget, and the library board trustees as well. Okay. Any additions? Do you have any? No? Hearing none? Okay, so we are now up to liaison reports. Do we have any liaison reports? Hearing none. Next up, we have departmental reports. Tonight, we are joined by our receiver of taxes, Holly Perlowitz, who will be sharing a short presentation on how her office fared in the recent town-county collections, and to give us an update on our understanding of the proposed charitable trust option in response to the SALT legislation. Welcome, Holly.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. I'm as
Can you
Dan-
stand a little closer to the mic because I'm having a hard time
Sure.
hearing you?
Sure.
I don't know if it's going to help, but speak it up. Yeah.
Angle it up here. How's that?
Oh, I don't know. I can't hear you any better, but okay, we'll have her.
It's that soft
Favorite-
spoken. It's that soft-spoken side of me. Dan.
Okay.
Okay. I'm here tonight to update you on how the 2018 town-county tax collection went. Obviously, while the bills went out at the end of March, the lion's share of collecting got done in April. And just to give you a summary, the warrant in total was $31,881,000. And so far, we've collected 96.9% of that warrant, so a total of over $30,877,000. So that leaves a balance of just a little bit over $1 million to collect. $4,802, which is about 3%. So that's a pretty, I think, very, very, very good. And we're about $550,000 higher than we were last year at this time. So that remaining balance accounts for about 750 taxpayers. So considering we have over, close to 11,000 taxpayers, that's pretty terrific. So I think we have great taxpayers here in this town. I just wanted to also mention at the outset of doing the collection, I had sent out an informal survey to taxpayers who are signed up for my email blasts, just to sort of ask them what would be helpful to them and accommodating to them to get their tax payments in. A lot of people are very busy and, commute and just trying to get a sense of some ideas, other than the fact that we stay open late and open early on the last couple of days of tax collection. So again, just to give perspective of the 11,000 or so taxpayers that we have, about 6,500 of them pay on their own, meaning the balance have their taxes paid through a mortgage company or a bank that holds their mortgage. So that's a lot of people, 6,500 people that have to get their payments in. So the responses ranged from a very big response was, could you have a box in front of the town hall where I could just drop my tax payment off, versus having the mailbox, which is in front of town hall. A lot of them have been having some issues with their mail, so they have found out that mail that gets mailed in the Ossining post office travels through to White Plains before it gets brought back to us in town hall or to someone else that you're mailing to in Ossining. So that was a big suggestion. Another suggestion was, is there any way when you go to pay taxes on our website, and about 800 of our taxpayers do that, could you schedule the payment? In other words, you get the bill at the end of March, beginning of April. Could I schedule to pay it, but I don't want to pay you until April 29th? A lot of you who use bill pay understand that you can do that using a bank, but on our website, it didn't appear as though that option was available. And the third one was, can I pay my taxes monthly instead of once a year? So at this point, we've handled the one about scheduling your payment on our website. That will be available for the next collection. And we are in very close to having a resolution with our post office, and that's for them to set up a mailbox, a mail slot, right in the Ossining post office that will bypass going to White Plains. So at the end of the day, they have committed that at the end of each day, they will postmark all of the payments that are received in this mailbox, mail slot at the post office. And at the last day of collection, they'll postmark up until midnight, which is kind of like when you pay your income taxes and the post office, post office stays open until midnight. So we're very thankful to the post office. Dana and I have had some meetings with them. I've had some meetings with them myself, just to show them some of the samples of mail issues that we've had along the way, and they've been very responsive, and I'm delighted. So I think we will at least have tackled two of the three suggestions that came out of that informal survey. So, are there any questions about this before I go on just for a quick update on the tax department?
Oh, so did you want to comment on the third one, that that's not really legal, or you don't want to talk about that?
Well, I mean, I could comment and say that is just not something that we're equipped to do now, and I don't know of any municipalities that are doing that now. But, you know, I'm a member of the Westchester Association of Tax Receivers, so I'm going to ask about it, but I don't have much to comment on in that regard.
The only thing that I would say is I just want to give a shout out to Senator Schumer and Congresswoman Lowy's office, because they were the one who initiated conversations with post office. Apparently there have been tremendous amount of complaints about delivery in Westchester County specifically. I'm not exactly sure why, but the post office rolled out the red carpet for municipal officials a couple months ago, and I can't say that everybody took the opportunity, but we did take the opportunity to go meet with them, and as a result, they have been very receptive to some of our suggestions and concerns, and they've worked closely with Receiver Perlowitz to figure out ways to improve how the mail is addressed for the tax bills when they go out, to make sure that they actually get to the recipients on time and don't come back address unknown or whatever it is. So we've been working with them on that, as well as to find a solution to the problem of mail that seems to get misplaced, misrouted, or otherwise undelivered when it should be delivered because it's sent in a timely fashion. So we're very appreciative to them, and I'm very appreciative to you for having the follow-up meetings with them, and we are hopeful that we will have something that at least makes it that much easier for our taxpayers. I will say that it's, you know, right now it's the Ossining Post Office. That isn't to say that we couldn't do also something with Briarcliff, but right now we're focusing on Ossining because we believe that that's where the most of our bills come through.
The Ossining Post
checks.
Office is open, you know, that lobby area is open 24 hours a day. I actually don't know whether or not the Briarcliff has that same, you know, that same ability, but that makes it just wonderful that our taxpayers can go in whenever and leave their taxes and feel rest assured that it's in a safe place as
Right.
well. Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah.
I guess it's not a question so much as it is a statement. The post office, I don't know what they're doing, but you mail outside where you put the mail in. You can, if you got 10 letters, you're going to be there 10 minutes because you have to put one in at a time. I don't know what it is.
Well, I'll tell you, just again, in speaking to some of the people at the post office about some of the issues, we had some people who had their tax payments stolen, and they did something called phishing, where people stick something sticky
Inside, yeah, I
into the
understand.
into the box, and then pull out envelopes. And
You won't do it now, that's.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So-
it's. I guess it's kind of like standing on long lines at the airport for security. It's kind of the same sort of thing. Unfortunately, that's one of the ways that they mitigate some of
Because I
the.
had been up to the postmaster 3 times, and each time they would tell me he wasn't in, and they'd send me to this person or that person, some sort of a runaround, and nothing gotten any better anyway at that point. But at least now we're having deliveries. We were having 3 days at a time where we weren't getting any mail. So at this point, we are getting it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we have been talking to them about that as well. That was also part of the bigger conversation, because also municipal offices haven't been receiving mail many times, and we need our mail so we can make sure that people get their bills paid and other things. So one of the that was one of the things that they were looking into, is to try and kind of drill down and figure out what the issues were. And they've also been having a number of meet and greets on Saturdays. I attended one of them, and I think that they had another one either last weekend?
This past Saturday.
Past Saturday. So it's an opportunity for you to go, and I always say, voice your concerns and your compliments. So it's a chance for you to say if they're doing something great and you're loving them, or if there's something that you think they need to be doing a little bit better. So hopefully people take an opportunity when they hear about that to go, and we have been trying to share that in our the supervisor's update that we send out on Fridays.
We've also trying to share that they're looking for
Postal
postal
delivery.
workers.
Right.
And it would be great to have some Ossining people who applied for the job. so
Right, absolutely. And
know the area. Okay, any more questions about the tax collection?
no, except for kudos for doing such a great job. And we know this was your first town county, so
Great, yeah.
wonderful work. And we're glad to hear that we're ahead of the game right now. And just hopeful that with this, whatever this new next subject is, that we can stay there.
Yeah,
that you're
well,
about to talk
before we even go on to that, I did want to just give you a general update on the department. I think you all know we had lost one of our deputies early on in February, and you graciously agreed to allow me to hire a seasonal person, part-timer, who is working part-time. We hired Martha Kitusaka, who is currently an Ossining resident and is pursuing her master's degree at John Jay in public administration. She is bilingual and speaks Spanish, and she started on the last couple of days of collection, and she was just one of those, jumped right in and helped, and seems to have joined the team wholeheartedly. So we're delighted to have her, and thank you allowing us to hire her. Then I guess it's also, Dana alluded to the fact that there have been some, New York State is trying to figure out some ways to circumvent some of the problems that will occur for taxpayers who have in excess of $10,000 in their personal income, state income tax, as well as their real estate taxes, and what they can do about that. I would like to sort of give a disclaimer, it's my accounting background, saying that there's still so much information that we don't know, and it's still a little murky to me how it will work from an implementation point of view. But generally, there's a thought to set up a charitable trust, and that taxpayers will pay into this charitable trust, and then some portion of that donation, if you would be used to pay your taxes, sort of as a voucher to pay your taxes. So Dana and I are staying very close to the information flow that's happening, and I think a lot more will be coming out very soon, particularly since there is a hope that it can be in place before the school tax collection, which is in September, begins in September. So I've had a lot of people coming in and asking, and I don't want to give out misinformation. So we're just assuring everybody that we're staying on top of the subject and will inform everybody as more information unfolds. Is that a fair characterization?
That is a fair characterization. The only thing I would just say is that it's not something that we're thinking about. It's state legislation that was passed
Right.
that allows us to collect, quote unquote, collect taxes in this way, to allow taxes to be paid into charitable trusts. It does seem that each taxing entity would have to set up their own charitable trust, which is why this voucher would come into play, because you'd need a voucher from the school district who you had paid for your school your school charitable donation, to then bring to the receiver of taxes to say, in lieu of taxes, I've made this donation to the school charitable trust, and the state would bless that. One of the issues that has been asked is what's the IRS ruling on that? We don't believe the IRS may or may not rule on it in any kind of timely fashion, but I believe that it's the opinion of the state that went forward with this without knowing whether or not the IRS would give it its blessing, is that it's going to end up in court and not necessarily resolved before we have to go through with some kind of resolution so that we can collect the taxes to pay the bills. So that's all. Stay tuned.
Right, and offer our taxpayers the opportunity to pay in that way. Some may opt not to,
Correct.
if they don't need to or they don't want to assume the risk of what the IRS may include down the road.
Right.
Right? Any other questions?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so
again.
much.
Take care.
And so it's going to drip. Okay, it's not dripping, but it's there. All right. So next up, we are going to go into public comment on agenda items only. So if there anybody here to comment on any of the agenda items, hearing none, we're going to our board resolutions. Ms. Ahat.
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby approves the April 24th, 2018 minutes of the regular meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby approves the May 1st, 2018 minutes of the special meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Actually, I believe
sorry.
Mr. Wiltshire was not at last week's
Okay.
meeting, so you would
that's
have to
right.
abstain.
Okay. All those opposed? Abstentions?
I actually need someone else to second. in
Okay,
that
so.
case. Okay.
Okay. And Mr. Wiltshire?
Yep.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Moving on.
She's very fast. Resolved that the Town Board hereby approves the voucher detail report dated May 8th, 2018 in the amount of $257,653.30.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So while we have a relatively small voucher report, we do have a few bills of note, including several bills to finish up the wiring and installation of and signage for our 3 electric vehicle charging stations. The stations themselves were paid for, and their installation were paid for largely through a grant from New York State, and we're pleased to be able to offer 3 hours of free charging at Cedar Lane, Engle, and Ryder Parks. The other major bill in this check run is our annual payment to Briarcliff Manor for fire protection services to a portion of the unincorporated area. Our residents get exceptional service from both the Village of Ossining and the Village of Briarcliff Fire Departments, and we're pleased to be able to save money for our residents in this efficient shared services model. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby appoints Mr. Emmanuel Toribio, Ossining, to the probationary position of road maintainer in the Town Highway Department at an annual salary of $76,650 effective May 10th, 2018.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So this is sort of a bittersweet resolution to pass. Juan/Manuel joined us in 2014, and even before he was hired, he was passionate about the parks. However, the opportunity to take a position in our highway department came around and Juan decided to go for it. Our highway superintendent, Michael G. O'Connor, is very excited to get Juan started on Thursday, as he brings an incredible amount of skill and know-how to work each day and a positive attitude. But we also know that the Parks Department will miss him. Luckily, he's just going across town, and luckily, our departments do work very closely together. So congratulations to Juan on this exciting new step in his career with the town. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austining hereby appoints Mr. Mark Gallagher, Cortlandt Manor, to the probationary position of Park Groundskeeper in the Town Parks Department at an annual salary of $59,760, effective May 10th, 2018.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
So, as Juan leaves the Parks Department, we had an unexpected vacancy. But luckily, we had a large pool of applications and resumes from our highway vacancy this past February. Talent pool that we drew from for these entry-level positions was astounding, and it was a challenge for us to choose. However, the Parks Foreman and I, with the support of our board, have chosen to hire Mark Gallagher. Mark was born and raised in Austining and worked for the Village of Austining DPW about 10 years ago. Since leaving for career advancements in other municipalities, he has really honed his skills and brings a lot to the table, including a background in electrical work, carpentry, and masonry. Mark will also be our first employee with a CDL Class A license. We're pleased to bring Mark on in this probationary position, but based on his glowing references, I suspect he will have a bright future with the town of Austining. All those in favor?
I want to ask you, now, he's, I don't know who he is, so it's not a, I can't be against him, because I don't even know him, but I do believe that we should try to get people from here, from Austin, to fill these things.
Yeah.
And there are enough people here, they would want a job. Now, even if they're not, maybe they don't have a CDL, but then you can train them. And now, how much skill does it take to cut grass? You know, I'm
Right.
just,
So, okay, so
I just think.
just because I don't want to discuss personnel issues in public, and because we have discussed this in executive session, I don't really want to get into this on camera. We can take it up again in executive session, but I will say that when we scanned our pool of candidates, and we certainly did scan our pool of candidates, which included many applicants from Austining. Mark has grown up in Austining. One of the things that we do know is that when we hire people, oftentimes we try as best we can to hire people from Austining, and shortly thereafter they leave, and they no longer live in Austining. And if you look at our parks and our highway department, you can see that in full force in both of those departments. So we felt that we had a need for additional skills, and even though it was an entry-level position, having somebody apply to that entry-level position who had additional skills, we thought would really be in our best interest. So that was why we came to the conclusion that he was the best candidate for the job. So if you want to discuss it further, I'm happy to do so. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I'm sorry, you're opposed? Are you're opposed?
No.
Okay, because I said all those in favor, and you said aye, and then I said opposed, and you said aye. Okay, so let's just go again. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, I'm confused.
Is that a 5-0? Just to clarify.
I'm not really
all
sure,
for it. I'm
honestly.
all
Okay, thank you.
I think Mark is super excited to come back to Austining because I think he's missed it here terribly.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he has been very, very excited to be close to home, and if anything, I would think that this might give him some incentive to move back to Austining down the road. So hopefully he will do that. But meanwhile, he's certainly committed to the community in which he grew up. Okay, next up.
Whereas the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development of the United States is authorized under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended and Title II of the National Affordable Housing Act of 1990 as amended to make grants to states and other units of general local government to help finance community development programs. And whereas Section 99-H of the General Municipal Law of the State of New York grants to any municipal corporation the power, either individually or jointly with one or more municipal corporations, to apply for, accept, and expend funds made available by the federal government, either directly or through the state, pursuant to the provisions of any federal law which is not inconsistent with the statutes or constitution of this state, in order to administer, conduct, or participate with the federal government in programs relating to the general welfare of the inhabitants of such municipal corporation. And whereas the Community Development Act of 1974, as amended, Title II of the National Affordable Housing Act of 1990, as amended, and any eligible activities thereunder are not inconsistent with the statutes or constitution of the state. And whereas a number of municipalities have requested Westchester's participation, and the County of Westchester has determined that it is desirable and in the public interest that it make application for community development block grant funds and home funds as an urban county. And whereas participation by the County of Westchester as an urban county in the Community Development Program requires that the Town of Ossining and the County of Westchester cooperate in undertaking or assisting in undertaking essential community development and housing activities, specifically those activities authorized by statutes enacted pursuant to Article 18 of the New York State Constitution. Whereas this board deems it to be in the public interest for the Town of Ossining to enter into a cooperation agreement with the County of Westchester for the aforesaid purposes, now therefore be resolved that the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute a cooperation agreement between the Town of Ossining and the County of Westchester for the purposes of undertaking a community development program pursuant to Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended and Title II of the National Affordable Housing Act of 1990 as amended.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So, after many years of being denied access to this funding stream due to the HUD Fair Housing lawsuit with Westchester County, we are excited that our new county government is finally reviving the county consortium. And I know I speak for the board when I say we are eager to put our heads together with some of our local agencies to see what projects will most benefit Ossining. This resolution is the first step, and I understand that the county has asked that it be a roll call vote.
Okay. Councilwoman Shaw.
Aye.
Councilwoman DeTore.
Aye.
Councilman Wiltshire.
Aye.
Councilwoman Feldman.
Aye.
And Supervisor Levenberg.
Aye. I forgot to ask if there's any further discussions or anything anybody else wanted to say. Okay.
Okay. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby authorizes the supervisor to accept a proposal from All Makes Pump and Motor Repair, Inc. for the replacement of a hydromatic pump and a sealing flange for the Parker Bale lift station, in addition to 16 labor hours for removal of the existing pump, installation, and wiring.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
At the behest of our Highway Superintendent, Michael G. O'Connor, and our Water Superintendent, Andy Teese, we need to replace one of the pumps at the Parker Bale lift station, which is our biggest sewer pump in the town. Luckily, we have a healthy sewer fund balance and also an intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Ossining. According to our Deputy Comptroller and Finance Guru, Dale Ferrara, the village will end up paying roughly 38% of this bill when we true up at year's end. However, it seems we have been living on borrowed time with these pumps for a while and will likely need another at this same pump station before long. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts the proposal dated April 11, 2018 from Spores Environmental Sciences, Garrison, New York, to mitigate asbestos at Cedar Lane Park's Rubin House and adjacent greenhouse, conforming to 12 NYCRR Part 56 guidelines for asbestos removal, including all air monitoring and containment protocols, and to clear the Rubin House of rubbish for a total contract price not to exceed $10,000.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So last week, this board approved the creation of a capital project in order to capture the money spent to remediate the Rubin House at Cedar Lane Park. Once upon a time, we'd hoped to fix up the building, but we have heard from multiple experts that it is too far gone, and with a few small exceptions, needs to be completely demolished. Having this asbestos removal done will help us to move forward in getting the building to a safer condition so that we can decide how to proceed. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Okay. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts the following: Planning Board meeting minutes dated January 17th, 2018. Planning Board meeting minutes dated February 21st, 2018. Planning Board application of Stony Lodge Hospital, Inc. and Glencoe Group dated April 4, 2018.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby accepts the following reports for the month of April 2018. Town Clerk's Office, Town Tax Receiver's Office, Dale Cemetery, Town Supervisor's Office.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are up to visitor recognition on any item whatsoever. Come on up and please introduce yourself and let us know where you live.
So my name is, can you hear me? My name is Sue Demick, and I live on 16 McCarthy Drive. And I'm a lifelong resident of Ossining. I've been here since I was actually born, so over 54 years. And I attended all of the Ossining schools. And I'm here to say that I'm objecting to the widening of McCarthy Drive. I know that's a proposal that was discussed a couple of meetings ago, and also to the addition of the curbs. The widening of the road and the curbs would alter the character of the neighborhood. It's a dead-end road, so there's not very much traffic there at all. You basically just go into your house and come out, and further along you live, you have a little bit farther to go. I also think that it would alter a large portion of our lawns in the front, our mailboxes, any of our shrubbery or decorative items that we have. And I believe this is an irresponsible use of our taxpayer dollars on a dead-end road that is maybe, 20 to 25 houses. I understand it to be a widening of perhaps 8 feet additional, and it's not something that the residents, have asked for. And I believe that the road needs to be repaved. There's a portion at the end where there's a group home that's unpaved. I think that really needs to be paved because they do come in and out of at the end of the road. But I'm here to object to the widening of McCarthy Drive and the addition of the curbs.
So even though I don't usually respond, I will just let you know that I know that there were a number of residents of McCarthy who spoke with our town engineer, Paul Frioli, briefly about this after our last meeting. And I have also spoken at length with Paul Frioli as well as Michael G. O'Connor, our highway superintendent. So just the history of, as you know, of McCarthy is that it was presumably a private road for many years. And the residents of McCarthy appealed to the board and said, no, it's really a public road, and we need you to pave it, and we need you to take it over. And we had our legal counsel dig in and look in to see if, in fact, it was a private road or if it was a public road. And we determined at some point that, in fact, it did look like, based on the records, that it was a public road. As a result, we are analyzing how to make the road up to town standards, which includes safety protocols and drainage, and all of the improvements that need to be made to bring it up to what we believe are the safety standards that are required for a town road. We will make that decision, and we're, of course, going to listen to the neighbors, but we believe that when we take over a road, it needs to have those protocols followed. So we have an engineer working with us who will come up with designs, and we will get feedback at that point. Anything that we would need to do to widen the road that would be within the town easement to widen the road, that would have anything to do with details of anybody's end of driveways, we would plan to fix or restore back to basically where it is, but that may involve widening it beyond the residents' desire. But at the same time, we are now taking over the road, the maintenance, and all the things that go with that. So we want to make sure that fire trucks have the right amount of clearance, the ability to turn around. We want to make sure that our cleaning equipment has the right, again, turning radius. We don't want people parking on lawns because that's not something that we actually condone in the town. That's not really legal. And so we want to make sure that the road is conducive to people parking on it and people utilizing it in a safe fashion, in a way. And even though it may not be how it has been, the town taking over the road is a big deal, and it's a big expense. And we're obviously going to make sure that we do it thoughtfully and carefully, but we also want to do it with those other interests in mind. So thank you for your comments, and we will continue to hear from you. Thanks. Are there any other comments from the public? Okay, hearing none. May I have a motion to adjourn into executive session for advice of counsel?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so I hope everyone has been enjoying this beautiful weather today. I think it's actually a perfect spring day, although Ms. Zahach has said that it's a little too warm. But for me, it's perfect. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday in this very room, because we are going to have our work session here in the courthouse. We will be discussing a variety of topics, including the town board's response to the planning board on the River Knoll proposal for the Stony Lodge site. And I would like to remind folks that next week is a work session. The meeting will not include a public comment component. However, if you do have thoughts on the proposal, I encourage you to email this board at tc@townofaustining.com or send us a letter at 16 Croton Avenue, care of the supervisor's office. Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful night. Oh, happy Mother's Day. I forgot it was Mother's Day. Yes, we have a number of mothers here, so congratulations to all the mothers for doing such a good job raising your wonderful children. And we look forward to a wonderful Mother's Day this Sunday. So have a good one.